Hey y'all, what's going on? This is Jackie, and today I'm making a video. I received a comment on one of my videos, and they had two questions. So the first question was, how many unit secretaries are there on a unit? So the answer is, it depends. If it's the med surge floor, then usually there are two, because the med surge floor is usually the biggest floor and the busiest floor. Other units like a ICU or a ortho or OR, any unit like that, or even a department like a radiology department, anything like that, they usually only have one secretary. But med surge usually has two. Now there could be exceptions to the rule where you have other smaller departments that have two, but that's rare. Usually the med surge, from what I've seen, the med surge is the one that always has two. And everybody else usually have one, or they may have none at all. That's why you have some units where you have the CNA is also the secretary. So you might see that in like a ICU. Technically, they have a secretary, but technically they don't. You know, it's that in between. So it just all depends. And then, like I said, some units don't have a secretary at all. They may need one, but they don't have one. But and then the second question was, well, if a unit only has one secretary, what happens when the secretary steps off the unit to go run an errand? So like, let's say you have to go down to the blood bank or run down to the lab or cafeteria, say is your lunch. What happens then? Well, what you would do is you would let someone know, usually the charge nurse, you would let them know, hey, I'm going to lunch. And then they know to answer the phone and not let the phone ring crazy because they know you're gone. Like, especially if you're going to lunch, they know that they need to answer that phone. And and it depending on what kind of unit you work on, the nurses might be good about answering the phone. So I know in the ICU, not the ICU, not my ICU, but the one on the other side, the the nurses always answered the phone. Like, when I floated over there, I barely answered the phone. They always answered the phone. I even, because I sat on the other side, because it was like the ICU was like 3 units, but they only used two because dialysis used the third unit, so they used two. But they had the phones to ring to the back part where most of the patients were. And so when I would come, I would sit like on the side unit. And I was like, well, do you want me to forward the calls? Like, I'll forward the calls from back there to over here with me. And they was like, no. So they answered the calls back there because I didn't hear it ring, because it was like two separate units, but it was one unit. It's just the way it was. So I could never hear the phone ring back there. And they would answer it. They would sit there and answer the phones. So I could have been somewhere else and they wouldn't even know. Basically all I did when I went over there is open the door. I will open the door for the one side. Not and I couldn't even open the doors on the other side. So it was like it was two separate units, but it was the ICU. It was weird. And it was not one whole unit, even though technically it was weird. But some places, the nurses, that's what they do. All right, that's all I got for you. If you have any questions or comments, you can put them below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.